Welcome to another webinar here. Wesley Smith with Tree Service Digital. I'm super excited to share with you the latest updates on Google local service ads. So thanks for being here. This is a very important topic with your overall digital marketing strategy. And there's been some really recent changes that have just popped up literally this week within the past 2 to 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today, Thursday. So I wanted to do a quick webinar. We already had it scheduled anyway, but it's very timely and coincidental that new changes just popped up this week on the platform. So thank you for being here. I'll go ahead and share my slides with you, and that way everybody can see it. If you guys can just let me know you can see the slides once they do pop up here. That way I'll know I'm not talking to a blank screen behind it. So I got the slides pulled up there. Again, like I was mentioning before I shared the slides here, before we went live, there is a chat box. If you have any questions whatsoever about anything I'm discussing during this presentation, feel free to just pop it in the chat really quick. I'll answer it as soon as I take a water break or a quick break every maybe 5 to 10 minutes or something like that. It shouldn't be more than about 30 minutes. Just want to go over everything so you kind of are aware of the local service ads platform and what's all been going on and changing. So hopefully everybody can see the slides here that I'm sharing with you. So we'll go ahead and get into it. So this is going to be a presentation about how to win with Google local service ads. And basically, let me go back to the previous link here. So hopefully everybody can see these slides. If you wouldn't mind, pop it in the chat just to make sure you can see this. If you can't see it, maybe pop in the chat. If you can, I'll just keep moving forward. This is how to win with local service ads by Google. These are commonly referred to as the Google guaranteed ads that a lot of people call it, just because it's got the green Google guaranteed check badge, check of approval, verified business on the top of the search bar there. So that's how you kind of know that's what the Google guaranteed means. But we're going to be going over everything it's going to take to win in your local market and to really be more visible on this platform. And so what we go over here at Tree Service Digital, if you had watched our former webinar on 2023 digital marketing plan or how to triple your sales by getting your internet marketing right, we go through every component of the digital dominance method. That's 1 through 8 of everything you can be doing online to really maximize your lead flow coming into your tree service business. But today we're going to exclusively be talking about number 2, a piece of number 2, which is your paid ads, which is super important on your digital marketing platform, digital marketing, local, lead flow, lead generation, because what happens is people are doing searches all day, every day for tree service at the top of the page. And so you want to make sure you're highly visible in that area. And so that's what we're going to be discussing today as a small piece of the digital dominance method, but it's made a tremendous impact on our clients' inbound lead flow over the past couple of years since we started implementing this. And we kind of avoided it for a little while, thinking maybe it was too complex or just something we didn't want to really offer to our client base. But since we started offering it a couple of years ago, it's been a game changer, a true game changer for lead flow and inbound calls and just ramping up revenue for your tree service business for people that are looking for tree service contractors in their local area. So it's a very important topic. So again, this is how to win with Google local service ads. I need your attention, please, though, because today we're going to talk about some super important things on the local service ads and a couple things that have just recently changed. So you want to make sure you stay tuned and dial in and just kind of make sure you focus on the webinar, because I promise you're going to learn something, because I just learned this stuff this week, right? And it's super important that you get this right. But if you're serious about doubling or tripling the leads that you pull from your Google ads, local service ads for tree service, then the next 20, 30 minutes are going to be critical. And I'm going to show you exactly why. So here's what we're going to cover today. What Google local service ads are. You may be asking, like, what are Google local service ads? I've heard of Google ads, but I've never really heard or investigated what local service ads are. We're going to talk about where it's active across the United States and Canada. We're talking about how it works. So how to optimize your campaign, how to get the best results from your Google local service ads, and how you can jump on board if you haven't already, or maybe you were recently verified or formerly verified, but it's expired and now you're offline. What it takes to rank in the top 3 results. And we're going to go over a little caveat of the 3 results today, because that just changed this week, where there's only 2 spots now at the top for the Google local service ad. So I'm going to show you that too. That's one of the changes that just happened this week. And how you can take advantage of high quality leads at a lower cost per lead and maximize your return on investment to truly win with Google local service ads. Who am I and why should you listen to me? So, my name is Wesley Smith. I'm the owner, CEO of treeservicedigital.com, which we're a digital marketing agency for specifically tree service companies, arborists, tree care, plant healthcare companies. I've been in the internet marketing space for close to 10 years now. Actually, 10 years are over now. I'm the author of the book, How to Win with Internet Marketing for Tree Service Contractors. It's right here, the little image of it. If you want a free copy, just reply to an email that we sent to invite you to this webinar. I'm happy to ship you a free copy in the mail. We specialize in tree service contractor internet marketing. We're expert web development, digital marketing team. We know how to do everything online marketing wise. And we've worked with over 100 tree service contractors across the United States and Canada. And we just know what works to generate a flood of new business from internet searches in your market, people looking for tree service contractors. And we're members of TCIA, one of the largest associations in the tree care industry. And, we've got hundreds of clients we've worked with in the past. Like I mentioned on the previous slide, some of the logos and clients we're currently working with, just to show you, and hundreds of tree service business owners over the years. And this is what we do every single day, right? We do SEO for tree service websites and companies, Google Ads management, Facebook marketing, email marketing, newsletters, website design, reputation and review management for more Google reviews, because all that stuff works together and it's kind of synergistic to get everything working on all cylinders. And we're also doing offline things like helping you guys order signs for your local area for your tree service business and do direct mail and targeted zip codes. So what are Google local service ads? Well, let's take a look here. Here's what it looked like on the search page prior to yesterday or Tuesday. So that's how relevant this webinar is today. So previously, it was when you do a search for tree service your city, tree service near me, tree removal near me, tree removal city, what you would get is the very, very top of the page, depending on how urban your area is and the population, you would get the first three results at the very top of the page. These are the Google guaranteed ads, which are the Google local service ads. And so what these ads are they're background checked, certified, verified, insurance, and licensed and insured tree service companies that are on this top platform up here. And I think it's really Google's attempt to kind of get a lot of the market share back from Angie's List, Home Advisor, Yelp, places where you had to do a background check formerly to get verified on their platforms. They're kind of saying, hey, look, on our search platform here, you don't need to leave our search platform. You can just stay right here on Google and find guaranteed, verified tree service companies in your local market that have already been vetted. So we do all the work for you. If they don't do you the right way, Google guarantees that they will refund you and reimburse you for the money that you spent if the company rips you off or doesn't do the work after you paid, or if you paid first, which normally you don't do that. But that's basically what Google is guaranteeing, is that we're guaranteeing these tree service companies are on the up and up. They're going to do you the right way. So you'll see those at the very top of the page. And so that's kind of what it looks like here. Below the Google guaranteed Google local service ads, you're going to see the regular Google ads, which used to be called AdWords. You probably heard that term before in the past too, Google AdWords. Now it's just simply called Google Ads. And those are below the local service ads, the Google guaranteed ads. So the Google guaranteed is highly, highly visible at the very, very top of the page. It's literally like a digital billboard sitting at the top of the page, ready to send you calls as soon as you get verified. So that's what it looks like. Why does it matter? Maybe your next question. Well, 87% of consumers are going to search Google, Yahoo, Bing when looking for home service providers. And that goes for plumbers, heating and air conditioning, landscaping, roofers, you name it. They usually go search the internet and they want to find some reputable companies with a lot of reviews to where it looks like a very reputable, highly rated, frequently rated company. And that's who they're going to feel more comfortable going with. It's the number one place where your customers are looking when they need your services. That's why the online matters. Local service ads come up first, the tip top first result in the search results on mobile and on desktop searches. So you want to be right there. There's no higher intent prospect than the customer who is proactively looking for your services at that moment in time when they need your services, right? There's no higher buyer intent. You must have a plan to win with Google local service ads. So here's where it's active. It's probably active in your city and state. Sometimes there's not anybody verified on the platform in a particular rural area or suburban area. So if you're number one, if you get verified there, that's a huge win and a huge advantage because there's not a bunch of competition. But here's where it's active. It's typically across the United States. For this purpose of this webinar and this training, we're going to concentrate on North America. So United States and Canada. I don't have the Canada image up here, but it's definitely available there as well. And how it impacts the search results. So here's what it looked like again prior to just yesterday or Tuesday. It was the top 3 results right here. Now, let me show you how it looks today. So now we just, had this change recently pop up. When you do a search now for tree removal near me, tree service near me, tree service your city, now it's going to show 2 results only at the top. So you can see right here, there's 1 result, there's 2 results, and then you have to click the button that says more tree service providers, and it'll open up another window that'll basically showcase the top 20 tree service companies. And that's a big change because it used to show 50 tree service companies if there was that many in a local market. So let's also look at what else has changed. This is basically from our Google local service ad rep. Today, we got this information. So only 2 ads now are showing on desktop, which you can see right here. This is a screenshot of my desktop view, me just now doing the search. You got 1, you got 2 results. That's it. There's now the ability to message and book an appointment directly on the search engine. So you don't have to click and go into the local service ad profile to book the appointment. You can do it right from the Google search page. You can request a callback instead of them calling you directly on the local service ads platform. Now the consumer can just request a callback and you get a message inside your Google local service ad platform. You just got to call them back. So if you're not doing that messaging, if you don't have the app on your smartphone, I would discourage you from having that option enabled, because if you're not able to get back with them, within a minute or 2 after they message you, or 5 minutes at the most, they're going to just go down the horn to the next tree service company. So you might just want to have it where they have to call you. And now when you do drill down into this more tree service providers button, now you're only going to see 20 tree service companies versus 50 that were on there before. And 50 didn't show up in a lot of markets. I mean, most areas would only have 10 to maybe 15 or tops 20 tree service companies that are actually verified at that given moment. Some people have their ads paused. Some people's insurance is expired. Some people, whatever the case may be, they're not showing up. So usually only 10 or 20 show up anyway. But in some markets, I know here in North Atlanta, there's 30 or 40 that show up. So now there's only going to be 20. So they've really whittled down the amount of tree service companies that are going to show up. So that really further puts importance on how many Google reviews you get. Because what happens is the more Google reviews you get on your local service ad platform directly or on your Google Maps, which is your Google business profile, the more they're going to show your Google guaranteed listing, right? So you want to be the highest rated, 4.8, 4.9, 5.0 star rating. And you also want to have the most reviews. That is literally the single most important thing you can do, is get Google reviews on your Google Map listing, because the Google Maps reviews will post on your Google local service ads platform. And then you can also get reviews on the Google local service ads platform individually, but those will not post to your Google Map listing. So only if you get the review on your Google Map listing will it show up on both platforms, Google Maps and local service ads, Google guaranteed ads. But if you get it on the local service ads, it will not post to your Google Map listing. So you always want to, if you're going to have one central place where people give you reviews, get them on your Google Map listing, because you're knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone doing it that way. You're going to get your review on your Google Map, which is going to help in your Google Maps SEO, local SEO, showing up higher on the Google Maps organically. And then you're also going to get the benefit of having reviews on your Google local service ad. So make sure you focus on that. So now it's even more critical to continue to ramp up the Google reviews on your Google Map listing. So again, if you guys have any questions, pop it in the chat. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have as we go through here. So here's how Google local service ads work. You must complete the Google local service ads onboarding process. And it's not that many steps, but it can become a little overwhelming if you're trying to do it yourself sometimes, because you just don't work with Google and you don't know kind of the beast there. But basically you've got to, do the onboarding steps. There's about 6 steps that you got to do. So one of the main things that takes the longest amount of time is getting a background check started on the Google Local Service Ads account that you set up of the owner. So the owner in the tree service space has to do the background check, not the crews in the field and the field hands and all those people. You don't need any of your crew doing the background check. You just need the business owner or owners, plural, to get the background check. So it's basically a license check. If your state requires some sort of tree or arborist license, it's the background check via Pinkerton Consulting. And it's also your proof of insurance for your business. Like usually your workers' comp or your insurance, they want to see $1 million policy or higher. And so the business owners need to complete the background check. Once it's approved, and if you're active in your area, you will pay on a per call, per lead basis. So every time you get a call, it basically goes into your budget, right? So they just accrue your calls. And then every time you reach around $500 in ad spend or calls, they'll then charge your credit card every time you hit $500. We've seen per lead cost, per call cost between 20 and 50 bucks per lead generally is about the average across the United States. But expect those prices to shift. Sometimes it's on the low end, sometimes it's on the high end. It really depends on how many people are running the ads in your local market. Sometimes there's only 2 or 3 companies that are Google guaranteed in an area. And those guys all get 30, 40, 50, 70 calls a month. It just depends on, the population. It depends on the weather, depends on how many people are running ads. And so other places you might only get 5, 10, or 15 calls because there's 20 companies that are verified on local service ads. And the guys with the most reviews are going to be those top spots most of the time. So you got to really work on your reviews. And the price will vary by city and by industry, but here we're talking about tree service. So how are you charged for Google Local Service Ads? Well, you set a weekly budget in the Google Local Service Ads that limits the total number of leads you receive in any given week. So if you're comfortable spending $200 a week, you'll spend roughly $800 a month, right? Assuming there's 4 weeks in a month. If you want to spend $500 a week, you set it to $500 a week, and you're willing to spend up to $2,000 in a month, assuming there's 4 weeks in that month. So you basically set your budget on a weekly basis. And from there, it'll just not let the ads go over that amount. And it'll sometimes spend less than that amount. Sometimes it'll spend a slight bit more than that amount in any given week, but they'll throttle it back the week after to make sure you compensate for that $500 a week budget average for the month, right? So if you spend $600 in 1 week and you're only willing to spend $500, well, then the next week they're going to throttle it back to only spend $300 or $400 to kind of get the run rate back to $500 per week. So example, $2,000 per month, you would schedule a $500 per week budget. And let's say your cost per lead was $35 a call. That's 57 leads per month, type thing. So you can do the math on that. And again, it varies per lead, the cost. There's no way to really predict what the lead cost is going to be until you get it set, get it running, start getting calls coming in, and Google will basically charge you for those calls, right? And that's when you know for sure the exact number, dollar amount for each lead. But you may get, a different number of leads day to day, right? Because search volume, has ebbs and flows. So some days there's more searches. If there's a storm that comes through, then you're getting just hammered with phone calls. But on a normal basis, normal search volume, months and weeks and days, it's just going to kind of fluctuate from day to day. Some days there's 200 or 300 searches in your area. Some days there's 100 searches in your area. So it just depends on that versus how many calls you're going to get. And you have the ability to immediately dispute the leads if you receive a lead that's not valid, which is the other perk and advantage of Google Local Service Ads is you can dispute bad calls. So if you get like a spam call, if you get a wrong number call, if you get somebody looking for a job call, you can dispute those and you don't have to pay for those particular leads. What leads don't count? So here we go. We've got a whole bracket from a screenshot from the Local Service Ads platform. So there's this, you can dispute any of these categories here. So if it's a solicitation, calls a wrong number, trying to sell you a product or service, someone seeking employment at your business, caller didn't discuss your business, you can get a dispute approved with that. If it was spam, of course, they'll approve that dispute. Location not served. So if they call and they're outside your area and Google just somehow mistakenly puts your ad in an area that's, another town over and you don't serve that area and you don't have it listed as a service area, they will allow that dispute to go through as well. Service is not offered. So if they call and you don't offer that service, and they call for landscaping services, and of course you're a tree service company, you don't do that, and you tell them, no, sorry, we don't do that service. Thanks and have a great day. They will allow you to dispute that too. The one caveat of disputing is you need to dispute it within, I believe it's like 30 days or 3 weeks, something like that. You want to make sure you dispute it as fast as possible. We dispute weekly so that we know we're not going to run over time and we have time to get those things approved. Feedback from active users. So sometimes it depends on the market, but a lot of times it's a lower cost per lead than a Google Ads, the traditional Google Ads pay-per-click marketing. Higher quality leads than Angie's List, Home Advisor, Thumbtack, Yelp, because simply they're seeing your reviews and your rating at the very top of the page. And the other thing is too, is when they call that number on the Google local service ad, they're calling you, and your office, or you, if you answer the phone, whoever answers the phone is going to be live on the phone with that caller that's looking for a tree service estimate for work at their property. So that's going to be easier to sell that customer as well, because on the Angie platform or Yelp, they're actually submitting their information and they don't even know who's going to be calling them, right? They're just getting calls from 5 tree companies, which is kind of a recipe for disaster. Still get some price shoppers and have to follow up quickly with some of these leads because they will call the other tree companies if you don't answer the phone. That's the other caveat too of having your Google local service ads perform at a high level, is answering the phone, over 80 or 90% of the time. You don't want to let those calls go to voicemail or missed calls, because Google will start pushing your listing down a little bit because they want to have people answer the phone if they're going to put you on the platform. But there's a solid return on investment from all the clients really who have jumped on board that we work with, because you're getting the calls, and one tree removal job could be 5 trees that they want taken down for $5,000-$10,000. So in that case, that's a no-brainer. If you're spending $1,000, $2,000 a month, you get one job and it 3X's your ad spend, and you're going to get a bunch of other ones in between too for trimming and services and things like that. So it's a solid return on investment from what we see. And why this is a no-brainer for tree service contractors. Well, you're going to show up at the very tip top of the page on Google. Like your business is open for business. Like you're right at the top of the page, right? Highly visible, 100% visibility. You're only paying per lead. That's why it's a no-brainer. So if you don't get leads, you don't pay. That's a really cool thing, right? So you only pay for verified calls. It's a lower cost per lead than Google Ads in a lot of cases. I'm not going to say that as a blanket statement, because we have some markets around the country where Google Ads are actually performing better than the Google local service ads, the Google guaranteed ads. Again, if you guys have any questions, pop them in the chat. Happy to answer those. They're higher quality leads than the home services lead providers like Angie or Yelp or anything like that. And you have the ability to modify your budget based on the schedule, right? So you can increase, decrease as needed. So you can say, hey, look, we're swamped. We're booked out a month, 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever you want to say. You can go in and pause the ads, or you can simply lower the budget. We find it's a better strategy is to just lower the budget down to a smaller budget rather than just pause them. Because when you pause them, you stop showing up with the green check badge. And additionally, Google sort of prefers people who continue to spend on the platform. So if you just lower the budget to say $100 a week, $80 a week at the minimum, at least you're still showing up in a lot of cases and getting a few calls here and there. And it keeps your Google local service ad platform kind of optimized, right? It keeps it live and it keeps it showing. And Google tends to kind of scratch those advertisers' backs a little bit more than if you stop and start all the time. So it's better just to keep them on, but just lower the budget down to a number that you're comfortable with, is what we see. And so it's just basically a no-brainer. Might as well get that set up. So how do you get set up on Google local service ads? Well, I'm glad you asked, because we've got a link for you. We'll show you. But if you work with us, we'll knock it out step by step for you. The only thing you have to do is click on the link to take the background check. It's got personal and sensitive information, so we can't do that part for you, but we'll do all the other steps for you. Email us your commercial insurance policy, email us your license number, and all the other things. We set up your profile budget, your geographical targeting areas, your budget weekly, all that stuff. But you can sign up here. You can literally do a Google search for Google local service ads. Just go type in the Google search bar, Google local service ads. And then you'll see this same link right here because it's basically just ads.google.com/local service ads. So that's the exact link. But again, you're watching this either as a replay later on YouTube or you're watching this live right now. If you want, I can pop this in the chat and that way you guys can actually have, let me do that for you. Well, I don't think it's going to let me do it because I'm in presentation mode on here, but I can pop it in there for you in a little bit. Right when the slides are getting finished, I'll pop that in there for you. But that's how you sign up. And you make sure you're already logged into your Gmail account or your Google account. Typically, if you log into Gmail frequently, that is your Google login, right? Your Gmail login is your Google login across all platforms under that Gmail address. Like so YouTube, Google Ads, Google Local Service Ads, Google Business Profile for your map listing, all those things you're going to log in with the same login of your Gmail. So if you're already logged into your Gmail, just go do a Google search for Google Local Service Ads. Click on that link and you can get started onboarding if you're trying to do it yourself. That's it though. You'll click on the link, it'll say welcome, and then it will say sign up, and that's where you're going to sign up. And then you create your profile, which is basically what it does is when you type in your business name, it'll start searching in the Google Maps, Google Business Profiles for your business, a match. And so if you see your business listed there, all you have to do is click on it and it will populate all of that data from your Google Map listing, your Google Business Profile over into the Google Local Service Ads platform. So you don't really have to do that much once you get that part done. And then from there, it's 5 steps: setting up your budget, uploading your insurance, uploading your license, picking your geographical areas, and all that stuff. So how does the ranking work? So I've seen this in my local area. Maybe you're saying to yourself, I've seen this online. I've done searches. I've seen it kind of popping up there. How does the ranking work, right? So the ranking works your proximity to the potential customer's location. So if somebody's really close to your tree service business and they search tree removal near me, tree removal companies near me, then they're going to see yours first because you're closer in proximity as a crow flies to that person looking for tree service, right? So you're closer mileage wise, distance wise to that customer. It also basically takes into consideration of the ranking, the review score, and the number of reviews you receive. So make sure you continue to get those Google reviews. That's going to be a common theme. If you hear me and any of these other presentations or local service ads, they get more reviews. It helps everything. Your responsiveness to the customer inquiries and requests is the ranking also going to help with the rankings. Your business hours helps with the ranking. So if it's 7 p.m. and you put 8 to 5 every day, well, your ad's not going to show because you put 8 to 5. So if you want to answer calls 8 to 8, 24 hours, make sure you list that. Whether or not we've received serious or repeated complaints about your business. So if there's a lot of, bad reviews, they're going to stop showing yours too much. In addition to these other ranking factors, Google will attempt to spread out the leads you receive over time. So this is to prevent you from spending your entire budget early in the budget period of the week, right? So if your ad is generating leads more quickly than your budget can accommodate, you may see your ranking affected or your ad paused temporarily in order to more evenly spread out your leads so as not to go over your budget. So again, how to win with local services. So let's go ahead and just recap that process. So dial in your service area, your profile, and your budget. Once you get your platform set up, once you get logged in there and you're seeing everything, dial this stuff in. Mark your jobs as booked. So as you're getting calls coming in, make sure you're going into your leads. There's a leads menu item. You click on leads, and then you're going to archive those, or you're going to mark them as booked. And that shows Google that, hey, this tree service company is taking care of these people that are calling their business, right? They're taking care of these callers. So we're going to reward them by showing their Google guaranteed ads more often. So deal with disputes, right? So dispute the calls that are crappy, dispute the spam calls, dispute the wrong number calls, dispute the looking for job calls. They'll credit you back for a good majority of those, right? As long as you do it within the time frame. Drive verified reviews, get a lot of reviews. I can't stress that enough. Get a ton of Google reviews. Just boat race everybody else in your community with reviews. Get ahead. Get 100, 200, 300 Google reviews, and you will win on Google Local Service Ad Platform. You will win on the Google Maps, and you'll win on getting more leads than everybody else. Target an 85% booking rate in the reporting section. So in the reporting section, when you get a call, I'm going to show you that here in just a second. when you get a call, mark it as booked, mark the date. You don't have to be specific on the dates that you're booking the jobs. It'll ask you for a date that it's booked or a date you're doing the job. You don't have to really tell them exactly what day you're doing the job, but just mark them as booked and then pick a date. If it's a phony date, whatever, just pick one so that it's itemized and you keep moving them down the line. So that's how to win with your platform there. So number one, dial in your profile. So this is, one of our companies here, Affordable Tree Services. Once you get the customer and everything onboarded in here, once you onboard yourself in the platform, you want to make sure that you're in here doing your budget, right? You want to make sure everything's accurate on your platform and your profile from your Google business profile on the maps. Make sure it's all accurate. Pick your job types here. So you want to pick what types of tree service jobs you want to target. You want to pick your budget. So, make sure you pick a weekly budget that you're comfortable with. So set your budget, open it up if you have capacity, right? The more it's open, the better off you're going to be with lead flow. These are cost-effective leads. Update your ad schedule. So something's going to change next week. If something's going to change during the holidays, update your ad schedule. Set up your business bio. So make sure your business bio is accurate. It's typically accurate if your Google business profile on the maps is accurate because it pulls that data in. Select the job type. So tree trimming, tree removal, cabling and bracing. Most people deselect or unselect stump grinding, things like that. You want to make sure you get all those put in there. Set up your service areas. So then go to the geographical areas. One tip on the service areas, don't just put in the cities that you service. So let's say you service 5 main suburban areas around your major city or something like that. Pick the cities, but also if you want even more lead flow, put in the zip codes as well. And it feels like it's kind of double work because you're putting in all the zip codes, but some cities have 3 or 4 or 5 zip codes in that one little city. So when you put the zip code in, you're going to show up for more of those tree service near me, tree removal near me searches we found. And so that's a big tip, is to put all the zip codes in those same cities that you already target, because it's quick to set up the cities. You can punch those in like 30 seconds, right? I served X city, Y city, Z city, then you're done. But if you add the zip codes of those cities, typically there's like 3 to 5 zip codes in every city. Some of them only have 1, right? But depending on the area of the United States, some small cities have a lot of zip codes. So you want to put all the zip codes in there too. And that just helps ramp up lead flow a little bit more. Update your business hours. So make sure your hours are accurate in there. And add photos. You can also add photos specifically just inside your Google Local Service Ads account. Number 2, mark your jobs as booked. I think we just went over this briefly a minute ago, but once you pull up a lead, all you do is come in here, and hopefully you can see my cursor here. Just click mark booked. And then when you mark booked, then it'll ask you for what date. And again, just make up a date, punch in a date, whatever. Could be, just vary it, have it, some of them tomorrow, some of them the next day, some of them today, that type of thing. And then they'll know. And then you can also listen to your recording inside here too. So every time you go to one of these leads, you can click on this and it'll expand it and it'll have the recording file and you can listen to the recording of the call. So mark your jobs as booked. Google will rate your responsiveness by how well you complete your jobs. Mark them as booked and scheduled. Add the customer details if you want to, include an email address. If you want, you don't need to put all that stuff in there, but you can get as detailed as you want with the platform. Archive non-converted opportunities. Third, deal with disputes. So when you go, you can, instead of marking booked, you can actually press the button that says dispute lead. So if you go to, there's a button there that says dispute. You can go in there and dispute, and it'll ask you why. You can put a wrong number, out of service area. We don't provide this service, whatever the reason may be, hit that. And then Google will then go listen to it and make sure it's a dispute, and then they will approve it or they will decline it. So best practices that we've seen, if you don't do that service, if you're not hiring for a job, if it's out of your service area, if it is not a service you provide, quickly get off the phone with that caller, which will increase your chances of getting that dispute approved. So don't talk to them for 3, 4, 5 minutes, because Google will just assume that you probably were able to monetize that lead. Take up down and say, yeah, this is XYZ tree service. How can we help you? Hey, we got some tree service work in this area. Oh, I apologize. We don't service that area. How'd you find us? Oh, I found you on Google. Okay, we'll have to make sure that we get that corrected. We don't service that area, but thank you so much for calling and have a great day. And if they want to keep talking, just try to kind of get them off the phone as soon as possible, because then you can dispute the lead and there's a higher increased chance that they will approve that dispute. Deal with disputes. You won't be charged for disqualified leads typically if they're outside your area, not a service you provide. Make sure to get off the phone with the bad leads quickly. We've just seen that work the best. Number 4, drive verified reviews, right? So it used to show like this with the 3 results. Now there's only 2 results. So the reviews are going to be even more important and more critical coming up. So make sure you get as many reviews as possible on your platform. It's going to really help yours kind of shine and just stand out. And more people will then call your listing. Number of reviews is a major driver of your ranking in Google local service ads, period. Provide great service as always. That way you're going to get more reviews when you do ask for them. Leverage the dashboard to drive verified reviews by entering their name, email, and click the request review button, right? So you can request a review right inside the Google local service ads platform, which is kind of cool. I would just suggest always asking for reviews on your Google business profile, the map listing, because then you get it on the maps and you get it on the local service ads platform, just to reiterate that from earlier on in the presentation. But better yet, yeah, get all your reviews on the Google business profile on the maps. You can actually do it right inside here. So when you're on the lead dashboard here, when you're looking at the lead, you can ask for a review right now, but typically you got to punch in their email address. So sometimes you may not have it handy or something. So again, just text it to them, like your Google business profile link, to give you a review there. There's other tools that'll help. We provide a tool to help get a lot more reviews as well, because it's super important with all of your digital marketing. Number 5, target 85% booking rate. So if you can see this right here, let's say this was their, but this is actually a dashboard of one of our clients. They spent $1,848 for 45 leads. So that was about $40 per call. Pretty good lead cost, in my opinion. You know, I mean, if you get 2 or 3 leads and you get one big job out of it, you're good to go. Great ROI. You can see they had a 97% booking rate, right? So out of the calls that came in, we itemized it, all the calls to where they were booked. We put a date on there they were booked and all of that. We do that once a week. And that helps keep your local service ad platform optimized. It keeps Google thinking that you guys are taking care of the customers, which then gives you better preferential treatment of your Google map or your Google local service ads listing and showing up more often. So this is just in the month of July last month. So you can see they get 45 leads. I mean, could you use another 45 calls coming right into your business for people looking for tree service? Hey, I'm looking to give you some money for some tree services. Can you call me back and let's set an estimate? That's pretty much how the calls go. Hey, I need an estimate for tree trimming. I need an estimate for tree removal. Can you guys schedule an appointment to come out? So that's 45 of those calls just last month. So you want to target those and make sure they get booked. Same thing here, 43%, 43 of them booked from the leads, and that's a 97% booking rate. So you want to target over 80% booking rate. So how to increase your lead flow from Google local service ads? Maybe it's not working like you thought. Open up your budget as high as you can. You know what I mean? Like just play with it. If you're not getting any leads coming in at $200 a week or whatever, up it to $400 a week and just see if more leads come in. Sometimes if you make changes inside the Google dashboard, it'll just propel it to start showing yours more or something. It's kind of sometimes can be a little bit techy and glitchy. So just play around with the budget, do some changes in there and see if that'll help kind of crank it up. Expand your service areas and job types, ad schedule, business hours. These are more ideas to get increased lead flow from your local service ads. Close out every lead, right? Book them, show them as archived, booked, scheduled. Make sure you're itemizing those and request verified reviews on every single job. That'll help you as well. Here's some results of some really highly optimized Google local service ad accounts of our clients. This client right here, literally in July, got 72 phone calls on the local service ads platform. You should be able to see that right here, this top left one. And they spent $1,443. That was $19.96 per call. I mean, that's crushing it. 72 calls at $20 a call. This client here got 38 calls for $695. Call it $696 rounded up. $18.51 per call. That's great. 38 calls, 38 appointments off Google local service ads. This client here is in a little bit more expensive market, but still makes ROI sense. They got 70 leads for $4,000 in ad spend here. So that was about $58 per call. Still makes sense from a return on investment perspective, right? You spend $4,000, and let's say you close out of 70 leads, you go on 50 appointments. Out of the 50 appointments, you close half of those. That's 25 jobs, right? How many jobs do you have to close to make the ROI make sense, right? So it's a very good investment. It's very good return on investment for pretty much every client we have this set up for. Because again, you're only paying per call, right? This client had 28 leads for $657. So these are some of the results you can expect in your local area if you get set up and verified, and you optimize your profile and you have a lot of reviews, right? You got there's several components that are going to help you win on the local service ad platform. These are a lot of them that we went over today. So hopefully you've gotten some value out of that. But you can see that's a 71% booking rate. We need to increase that. This one's 88% booking rate. This one's like 70% booking rate. This one's 94% booking rate. So you want to make sure that booking rate percentage is pretty high. So here's what you should do now. Get with your strategy partner on our team. We can help you set all of this up. It's part of our digital dominance program and our market domination program. We love Google local service ads. Again, they're pay per call only. It's literally a no-brainer, especially if you have a Google business profile with high ratings and a ton of reviews. You're going to crush it on that platform. So get with us if you want. We'll definitely help you implement this and get more calls coming in. Or you can go to this link that we showed you earlier. So you could go to Google local service ads and do a Google search for that. And this is the direct link. Complete your background checks once you get signed up there. Put the tracking in place so you can gauge the return on investment on the platform. And be sure that you're leveraging the platform to close jobs and updates and do the bookings and all that stuff. It really makes a difference. Play the game on Google local service ads while the return on investment makes sense, right? The more companies that get on board, the more the per lead basis is going to increase because there's just more companies vying for the same searches. But what we've seen is usually people fall off the platform too because they forget to update their insurance or they're no longer with their marketing agency and they don't know how to do it themselves. So a lot of people sometimes are falling off the platform pretty routinely. So a lot of cases we see where people get on the platform and there's only one or two other companies and they get 60, 70, 80 calls a month on the Google local service ads platform. So play the game while the return on investment makes sense, right? So again, this is all part of the digital dominance method that we go over and we go through with our clients. It's on the number 2 section, the pay per click, pay per lead section, the paid ads. And it just works really, really well. If you have any questions, guys, again, pop it in the chat. I'm free to help you guys if you guys want to go over that. And I'm going to also find the link for you and I'll pop it in the chat if you guys just want to copy the link and put it, let me go here. I'll pop it in there. But if you want a free strategy plan or review, again, we can help you with that. It's help you get that set up, kind of go over your local market, how it works, all of that stuff. Let's see here. I'm going to pop this link in chat for you really quick and you can copy it, take it down. Let's see, copy link address. All right, I'm going to put it here. All right, so check the chat if you want that link. That's how you sign up for Google local service ads there. If you have any other questions, let us know before we close down the slides and end the presentation. But we offer a free online marketing plan review. There's absolutely no strings attached and we don't high pressure sales anybody. We just go over your market, where you're at, what you're doing, and where you want to go and where you want to take your tree service business and how you see yourself doing that and how we kind of can help you be a marketing partner for your digital marketing. Again, we do this for over 100 tree service companies nationwide in Canada. We just know what works because we've been doing this every single day for 5 years now with exclusively tree service companies. So we'd love to help you in your business. Again, if you want to call 770-637-3707, happy to answer any questions there if you want to call. And so one client is asking, we are having issues getting our business verified on Google. Please contact me to discuss. Okay, thanks, Bruce. Yeah, we can certainly do that. All right, no problem whatsoever there. So if anybody has any other questions, pop them in the chat. Happy to answer those. But we'll go through all of that, on a strategy call. you can just go to treeservicedigital.com, and there'll be a form on the website if you want, and you can just schedule a strategy session there. Happy to meet with you. Probably be next week at this point, just because tomorrow is Friday, although we do have some space open tomorrow. If you open up the calendar, we can meet with you tomorrow. But if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much for joining us today, joining me today, going over local service ads. We love this stuff, right? This is all we do every day. So it's fun to talk about and discuss, and how we're really helping tree service companies, how they're helping themselves get more visible, get more calls coming in, and grow their business in their local market. So hopefully you got some value out of this. And I really appreciate you being on today. We'll have more videos coming up. If you're on YouTube watching this as a replay, click like and subscribe to our channel. We've got plenty more coming. If you're on the podcast listening to the audio, subscribe to your favorite audio player. Hey, join our free Facebook group. It's Tree Service Marketing Secrets on Facebook. Just search Tree Service Marketing Secrets on Facebook. Happy to let you join our group. We go over all kind of marketing content exclusively in that group too. So everybody have a great rest of your day, a great Labor Day weekend. And if we can help in any way, just reach out to Tree Service Digital, and we'll be happy to help you there. All right. Signing off. Until next video. We'll see you then. Have a great rest of your day and a great Labor Day.